Hello, I'm SHIPWRECK, and this is Seed Sunday, the weekly series I run on my channel where I show seeds for Minecraft which are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. And this week I have a Minecraft Bedrock seed for you all because 1.4 Aquatic Update Phase 1 is already out and Phase 2 is coming out pretty darn soon, so lots of people want to play around with the new aquatic features in some form of survival world or even in creative. You want to see the new features and you want to see them at spawn. Well, this seed is really great for that because right ahead of you, you've got two types of oceans. You've got the cold and you've got the warm with some coral. Really great thing by itself, but the other thing that makes the seed amazing is the fact that, let's say that you really want to play around with aquatic update features, but you don't really like going into water. Say you're a cat and something about that's just kind of scary, like, oh no, that's not great, let's avoid the water. Well, let's just say this seed gives you the ability to explore one of the best bits of the update, the shipwrecks entirely above water, because there is a beached ship right here, a wrecked ship, a landed ship, and it's really interesting because you can explore the entire thing, you can destroy it, you can do whatever you want with it above the surface entirely. I love this personally, I think it's a great little thing, and it's actually just the start of what makes this seed so great, and I figured because of this and all of the other great things, I had to share this off and show it to you all in today's video, so hopefully you do all enjoy. Please do like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do like Seed Sunday. In case you're curious as to what the seed is, it's going to be on screen right now. It's -244885508. I'm going to type that in the description as well, because I know a lot of you do play Windows 10 or play the phones and you want to copy paste it there, and it was originally found by Shoya Lloyd. So yeah, again, really impressive find. Thank you very much to Shoya Lloyd, but let's get straight into actually, you know, showing off the seed itself, because again, it's a nice enough spawn. I marked my spawn with a beacon, and as you can see, you've got a direct line of sight to some new oceans. Lots of different types of oceans, which I think is rather nice. You know, some coral reefs over there, we got some cold ocean over here, we got some sea pickles off in the distance, and we've just got a bunch of it around us that's kind of enclosed and kind of not. I think it's a great little ocean by itself, but again, I feel like we need to focus on the obvious thing you can see from spawn, because I mentioned already that, like, oh yeah, if you just go this far from spawn, again, it's not that far at all, you can literally see the spawn just over there, barely 10 chunks away, but yeah, this is what you find just over here, and this is going to be the first thing you want to go to, not only because, again, it looks just so visually striking, like, oh my god, really, this is a real thing, but also because the fact that it comes with 3 separate chests. So one of the chests is found down here in a pretty expectable position. Get yourself a buried treasure map, that's always a nice thing, but the other 2 chests are really interesting because they're not really meant to generate that way. I think it's an above ground glitch, so as well as being interesting because, oh yeah, this is all the iron you get just for going near spawn. That's a bunch, you know, like almost, you know, close to a full set of armor right there, but then also we've got ourselves a diamond, and we've got ourselves some gold nuggets, some iron nuggets. It's good stuff, but if you look, there's actually a second chest back there, and although we can't open it right now, we remove a second block, and boom, you get yourself a second chest with TNT, books and quills, a potion of regeneration, leads, and obviously a heart of the sea. Wonderful thing. The fact that all of that is available to you for nothing is just, again, it's one of the things that really takes the cake on what makes this a great spawn, not only in terms of it's amazing, but also in terms of it gives you a good head start, which I really do quite like. Keep in mind the ship is a little bit destroyed, but I think there's also a great idea in doing the whole reconstruction thing, where you destroy the entire ship, try to reconstruct it how you like, because it comes with a lot of different interesting blocks combined, and again, you can leave it, you can not leave it, you can do whatever you want with it, but the fact that it's here is kind of great in my opinion. Also nearby is sugarcane, so another key thing you should get started with, and also nearby to that is a desert temple. So yeah, desert temples, everyone loves them, because you obviously get 4 chances for pretty great loot, and so again, this randomly generates every single time you head into a seed, but for now, let's just head in and let's show you the fact that in one of the chests, we get some emeralds, we get some gold, and some horse armor, we get some diamonds, we get some golden apple, we get a enchanted golden apple in our case, again, you might get the exact same thing, and then you get some iron horse armor and some other great stuff. So yeah, you could get even, you know, as well as having a heart of the sea, one of the rarest pieces of loot, you can also have an enchanted golden apple to make it even better, but what's better than having an enchanted golden apple and a, you know, heart of the sea? Well, that's really good terrain generation. So yeah, as well, so this seed is just nice because 2 batches of 3 things near the spawn, but it also comes with a whole bunch more things which are just visually great to settle down on. So first of all, we've got the fact that, again, we've got a big desert right here. You can see it goes as far as the eye, or at least the Xbox render distance can see, and the thing about that is that there's no rain here, so trying to settle here, because it's relatively flat and it has that, is just a great idea. You could turn this into a city by paving over it with stone and stuff, and again, if you want to start a city in the desert, I know that's how Salt Lake City was formed if I'm not mistaken, then you can do this basic idea here, try and make the terrain habitable and kind of convert it into a real livable thing. So there's a fun little idea for you, but as well as that, we've obviously got the fact that there are, you know, small little niceties that I really liked as I found them, so let's show you those one by one. So as well as having a great huge desert biome right at spawn, we've also got the coral reef that I mentioned and kind of showed off earlier, but if you look through the coral reef, there's actually a ship merged with one of these as well, so to make it even better than just having a shipwreck next to the spawn, we've also got the fact that found inside of the of the coral reef is obviously not just, oh yeah, there's a bunch of corals right here, there's also this ship found right in the thing. So this is another spruce ship. It only is like half a ship, so like, I don't know what you're going to do with that, but the fact that you can get inside here and like, oh, it's a coral ship is, I think that's interesting. Maybe you do too. Maybe you want to regenerate it, maybe you want to get it back to the surface, but either way, it's a thing you can kind of explore and see, and I like seeing at least. And then also, another thing I thought was kind of great is this area right here. So as you can see, we've got ourselves a few coral that are kind of in this little bit of a base. So it's like a big circular bowl is how I would describe it. But as you can see, the bowl is like surrounded on all sides of only 3 entrances. So if you just put sand here, sand there, and then sand there, like make it a full circle, then you can obviously drain this thing and then have a little bit of your own above ground coral. Again, I love easy draining projects, and I feel like this is a really good easy one if you want to keep the coral, if you want to kill the coral at least. And another thing I kind of liked about this is the fact that this right here, a little bit of water above ground, you know, we're all familiar with these types of caves, you know, these, or not these caves, sorry, these big types of, you know, water lakes, but this water lake is actually a cave, which as you can see, you can explore the fullness of, and which will eventually lead you back out to sea. So you can kind of have like a, you know, if you're swimming underwater really fast, you can have like a almost secret entrance into a base or something, or just, I just think an interesting cave to explore through, where you swim through this to get through it, and then you end up at the surface over here. I don't know why I love this so much. Maybe it's only me. Maybe you're looking at this and you're going, Toy Cat, this seed was amazing, but that is just a normal thing. But to me, that is one of the best things I've seen in some time, because I love the caves that, you know, actually have like a real ending in the real sea, oh sorry, in the real you know, kind of world, and the fact that there are multiple opportunities to do that is really great. Also, kind of nice is the fact that obviously there's sand caves, because the fact this huge desert does come with a bunch of caves, and when those caves generate low enough, they're going to come with some sand stuff. So let's go through some of this stuff. So again, if we hop into pretty much any normal cave, so this is the one I have checked out earlier. As you can see, there's just a few blocks of missing in the sand. You could patch over this so easily and pretend it doesn't exist, or you can go inside, get a bunch of sandstone, because seriously, look at this thing. Or if you want to, you know, maybe trap someone because you like being a bit evil like that, bring them in here and be like, oh hey, stand there for a bit, maybe go get your dinner, just be AFK, and then, you know, you can suffocate them. Whatever it is you like to do in the world, you can do a lot of it with this desert because of the interesting generation. There's also, of course, as we go to the very far edge, a second desert temple, so that's nice. And also at the edge is this really interesting biome transition between desert and between snow. So again, the game tries not to generate with these two biomes too close to each other, but for some reason, in this case, it's just kind of forced to. So again, you go right from desert into, again, mountainous spruce. Again, looks so crazy together, like it almost looks like amplified, that's how high it goes. And then just over the mountain, because it's a very small mountain, there's more villages, so you can be like, oh yeah, there's an entirely frozen village. And again, if you haven't ever checked out on Bedrock one of these villages, they are different to other Minecraft versions, because they're obviously the water's frozen over, they have different chests inside. It's interesting because they've harvested for the winter and they're all going inside. Again, I like the details personally, maybe you do too. But there's also a second desert temple, so repeat what we had earlier. More chances for great loot, more chances for great stuff. I won't go inside, but I will say it's partially buried, so you could either like unbury it, or you could entirely bury it and use it as like part of something else. Again, whenever something's like this, it's like, you know, the possibilities, they do introduce themselves for like, you know, hide it underneath something and make it like a archaeological like burial underneath your city. Again, I see this as a huge example for a city. I see this as a huge batch of potential. Maybe you're not seeing it exactly that same way, but the fact that you've got so much space means you can see this pretty much anywhere you want. So before we end this, I want to mention one last other bit of weird terrain. Right above, or right next to the desert temple, there is this piece of terrain right here. As you can see, it's some sandstone generated in the sky. These aren't that common, especially not on Bedrock. And yeah, if you want to do something with it, you can, or you can leave it here and just have some random floating sand. Also, I should mention we've got some sand, you know, mountains right here, but they're intersected by ravines, and because of, oh sorry, not ravines, by rivers, which function, I guess, as ravines when it's a mountain. So again, you've got this really interesting four-way, huge mountains generated on each side, then pausing for a little bit. And also, it should be worth mentioning that the desert goes even further in this direction because biomes are pretty damn big on Bedrock. So yeah, all in all, to kind of summarize what we've got going on here, we've got an amazing seed just in terms of the two things next to spawn. If you don't care about anything else, that's got you covered already. Then if you kind of like expand it further, you get more and more great stuff. You get corals mixed of great things, you get weird underwater caves, you get the huge desert with an interesting link into a snow biome, and that's all on top of the fact that, by the way, at spawn, I forgot to mention this, but it's always a key thing, you do get coal and you do get iron for free just for spawning in. So yeah, if you like the whole rush to getting stuff done, you can find a bunch of the ores, which again, help your game kind of progress right here, as well as a fairly complex cave system that I didn't find the end of. So yeah, if you want to go down pretty low, and also wait, This is something I haven't seen before. This is amazing. So this is, again, this is a terrain glitch. This isn't meant to happen. And if you break too many blocks, then it won't stay this way. But for what it's worth, there is a way to see the ocean from here, naturally generated. Look at that. That is amazing. You gotta say something about that. So yeah, with that said, that is a really interesting thing. Don't break anything around here, because if you do, then let me show you what happens. So I'll break a block here and then be like, actually, why don't we break a block up there so we can, oh, okay, now you've ruined it. But yeah, that's just how this one works. But if you don't break any blocks, you can have a little peek hole into the coral reef, which looks amazing, is amazing, and there's a cool little thing about this seed that maybe you'll enjoy and want to check out. Oh, there's two more things actually. Well, this right here, which again, it's an ocean ruins next to spawn, but also another very amazing thing that I found, and I just remembered right now, is that while I was exploring, because I like to do a lot of exploring for these seeds, make sure that, like, you know, there's no like horrific problems with them if you're going to be using them for survival. And one of the things that I found is that there's this little cave right here. There's actually a lot of these caves, and if you go into one of them, they have a mob spawner, and it seems like, because all of the desert caves are a bit similar, you can't find it. I guess you might have to just take my word for it on that one. You know, I swear I'm not just saying there's a mob spawner, but there is in one of these caves. All you have to do is look into it far enough, and you will eventually find some mobs. You know, actually, right now, let's just go for it. We're going to find this. There we go. This is the one. As you can see, it's a spider mob spawner, naturally generated right at spawn. It comes with a couple more chests with some bones and some, you know, saddles and stuff. But the fact that you can have an XP spawner right next to the spawn, as well as all the other stuff, makes it just that little bit nicer in my opinion. But that's my opinion. Let me know if you like the seed, or if you think that, you know, I guess landed shipwrecks, they're great, but maybe they're not your thing. Yeah, let me know if all this other stuff isn't, and what you do like in a seed, because personally I think having a vision, something to build on, is what I really like in when I see seeds these days. But I also like the instant gratification. But, you know, which of those is more important to you? Let me know in the comments down below, and maybe you'll shape future Seed Sundays. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like it if you liked it. Give it a share if you really liked it. And next week, I'm not sure what is going on, because that is, as next week's episode goes up, I'm going to be leaving the house for New Zealand. So it's going to be a fun little time. But I guess I'll see you all in a